Welcome back to our Tri-State Training Day podcast. Dhruv, how are you, my brother?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I'm doing great, man. I got you over here, and obviously you're coming off in a very aggressive month. 70 families helped, part of Operation Liberation. And I want to pronounce your last name right. It's Sachdeva, correct?
Correct. Yep.
Dhruv Sachdeva in the building with me. So I wanted to discuss some things because obviously you're having amazing success. And how long have you been in the business?
So I started in insurance, I want to say about 3 or 4 years ago.
Got it. Walk us down the path of how you found Family First Life and why has it been a game changer for you?
Definitely. So I started in the insurance world in 2019, I believe it was, right when quarantine started, right when COVID started. And I mean, I had to take a minute for during COVID just to I had to convert to telesales during that time, and I found that a lot of people were less receptive to that. So I ended up leaving the industry just to
Wow.
see what else was out there, just to explore the world pretty much. I landed in mortgages. I ended up staying there for about 6 or 7 months, realized that the rates were only going to go up and there was no chance of them coming down anytime soon. So left that industry, went to logistics for a little bit, stayed there for 5 or 6 months, just moving freight across the U.S. And then got back in touch with a couple of my old insurance buddies, and they told me about this new deal happening over at FFL. And I decided to throw the dust off and join the insurance world again. And I found nothing but success since.
Well, I love it, man. Now that's great because you've been searching. You've been out there. You've been trying to make stuff happen. You know?
Yeah.
How was the mortgage stint, the time you were in the mortgages?
It was good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it was definitely a different aspect of the financial services industry from insurance. Um, just different. I mean, it was the same grind. You still got to put in the work, put in the time, but it was just kind of looking at sales from a different aspect, and it was a very interesting view that I learned from there, to be honest.
Got it. So back to insurance. And obviously you can see that FFL is just a completely different animal.
100%.
What are some things that have got you excited about what's happening now and what's going to be happening moving forward?
Honestly, the growth over the past year or so, our deal has pretty much grown. I want to say tenfold or so, and we have we show no signs of slowing down. So honestly, I'm looking forward to see what kind of numbers we can grow to over the next coming year, over 2024, because I feel like we're just on a path right now and we can't be beat.
I love it, man. There's a lot of growth. You helped 70 families in September, which is just insane. Um, what are some things you're doing to create that level of consistency with your schedule leads, what have you?
So, kind of like I mentioned before, it's just about consistency, just hitting the field, getting out there. It's in the end, I mean, all sales comes down to is a numbers game. So, the more contact you have, the more people you see on a daily basis, the more likely that you're going to help out at least one or two families a day. It's just numbers. You got to keep hitting consistency. You got to keep getting out there and putting in the work.
No doubt about it. Now you're out there. You said how many days a week?
6 days a week. I'm normally running Monday through Saturday, and if I haven't had that great of a week, I'll kind of decided to work Sunday just to pick up the slack because everyone's home. Sunday is a good relaxing day for most people, but like I said, if I'm not at the numbers that I want to be at, I'm definitely going to be out there putting in the work.
Um, what time you typically start out there?
Normally I'm Up in the field, I want to say about 9:30. Now, I'm definitely not starting my day then. I'm probably hitting the phones for about hour and a half, 2 hours before that, just to see if I can get any appointments. But most of the times, yeah, I'm out in the field 9:30, and I don't get back till about 8:30, 9 o'clock as well.
There it is, brother. I mean, everybody wants to know what the secret sauce is. We just found out it's work ethic.
100%,
You
100%.
know, now you obviously have no problem working hard. Now, were you always that way, or do you see an opportunity and you ramped it up because you see an opportunity?
No, yeah, I was definitely not like this. If you would have asked me 3 years ago when I first started out, I was the complete opposite. Work when I want to. I mean, not hitting numbers consistently is just, I was just in it for the fun. But I've realized the doors that insurance can open, and over the past couple of years, I've had a world changing experience basically, and I've completely redefined who I am or what my work ethic means, basically. So, where I would take 3 or 4 days off and only hit the field 2 days out of the week before, now it's kind of the opposite. Now I'm hitting the field 6 days a week, even 7 times a week, just because I want to hit the numbers. Like I mentioned earlier, just that growth. The potential here is unlimited.
Wow. I mean, I tend to think that that seems real simple. You turn the switch on, Drew. But I see a lot of people butcher that switch. Oh man, like
It's not easy. I mean, I'll tell you that. It definitely takes a lot of commitment and discipline. Those are the top two things I have taken out of these past couple of years. It's really hard to do, but once you commit to it and once you start to see results, that's when you kind of realize like, okay, this is doable. This is definitely something that I can do, and it's not hard to do either. I just have to tweak a few things here and there, maybe cut out a few things here and there, but definitely doable. Anyone can do it.
it's huge, man. And I love that kind of shot of encouragement to people because you know we're constantly in the business. As you know, you're around a lot of agents of trying to help them get objects and obstacles out of their way so that they have a better shot of winning with us because we know what winning with us looks like. Like you're a clear example, excuse me, of someone who's winning with us. And there's success leaves tracks. So you're leaving tracks. You know, the things we're talking about on this podcast are things that other people can pick up and take, right? If they choose to. But the biggest thing is I work 9 to 9, 6 days a week. And even you said that's a stark contrast from where you were in another time of your life. You know, how do you dig deep and go, this is my time. It's now. I'm not squandering any more time.
Honestly, I just saw the potential. When I first started here, I'm like, okay, this is kind of going to be like any other insurance agency or insurance brokerage or anything like that. It's just going to be the same deal. But then I started hitting the field and I started working, and I realized the potential that you have here. Basically, the amount of, I can't think of a better word than potential. If I'm being honest, you have so much opportunity.
100%. So right now, you're out there with all those clients that you're seeing. How many appointments are you typically trying to book a week
A week, I want to
or per
say
day?
I'm shooting for 100. If I'm being honest, if I'm out there 6 days a week, I'm shooting for 100.
Got it. Talk to us a little bit about your strategy in home. What are some things you're doing to help the clients see that this is something that they need to do for them and their family? Walk us down how you structure your in home.
Yeah, so it's pretty much just explaining the value of what we do here and breaking it down in terms that anyone can understand. I mean, a lot of people like to, or they don't, or they unintentionally talk down to the client just because we go through so much training. We know so much more than the average client, the average consumer. And so unintentionally, they end up talking down to the client. So I've kind of realized that when I first started, I would do that too. And it's taken some training to kind of master the tonality and master the elegance of talking to a client. Basically, the tonality is huge. You gotta put yourself in their shoes and then make sure that you're, like I said, not talking down to anyone, talking to someone on the same level. But when you break it down, when you show them the numbers don't lie. You just got to make it make sense to the client. And when they understand, when that switch clicks, then they're like, okay, let's continue because everything makes sense. There's no questions there.
So showing the value. And do you have a typical go-to situation? What type of leads are you working?
So I'm mainly working final expense and some third party vendors, stuff like that.
Okay.
I found that when I first started out, the integrity leads were phenomenal. Um, you got to mix in. It's all about quantity, not quality when you first start out, because like I said, it's just a numbers game. So you want to make sure that you get some of the $1, $2 leads there, and then also mix it in with some of the $11 to $20 leads. But that's where I found my initial success was through the integrity leads.
So you're doing a lot of final expense now, mainly senior clientele, yes?
Yeah, I've kind of branched out to third-party vendors and started dealing with more senior clientele. Yeah,
How do you enjoy the senior market?
honestly, I love them. The stories that some of these guys have to tell are nothing that you've ever heard before. I mean, some of these people have stories from the Vietnam War that are just crazy about saving their buddy from IEW and stuff like that. It's insane. So honestly, I just like talking to these people because they're just lively people, and I've always wanted to travel and explore, and this just checks all the boxes for me.
You know, I've always loved the senior market, and I agree with you. The story, I mean, it's amazing, right? It's amazing. But, you know, you have to understand that market. Like, the more you're exposed to that market, the more you understand that market, the more you're excited about that market, especially working with the clients. It's pretty awesome. Uh, One of the things I found, Drew, that was the most, you know, synonymous per appointment was the fact that they really wanted you to be direct with them, which I really enjoy doing, which made my life a lot
100%.
easier. It just fit right into my wheelhouse. You know, are you seeing a lot of that out there? Um, and how are you how are you showing your premiums? How are you making sure that they're getting the most value for the money that they're putting out?
Absolutely. So, uh, yeah, just being direct with these people are with these guys are the best way to go because they don't like the beat around the bush salesman type approach. So when it comes down to numbers, I take my iPad out in the field, I'll literally flip it around to them and show them like you can choose whatever kind of numbers you want to do, but in the end, you need to make it make sense with your coverage versus your premium. So what is the best value for you at a certain time and what my professional opinion is to achieve that maximum value. So I will make my suggestions and I will obviously let the clients know that they have different options. But like I said, I'll literally flip around the iPad and let them know these are the numbers. Now you guys got to let me know which one works best for you.
Got it. Are you doing some IUL sales as well out there, or mainly FEX policies?
A couple IUL policies, I'll throw them in there, but mainly majority FAX policies.
No doubt. And who are your top three carriers that you use?
So I'm gonna say Americo, Mutual of Omaha, and Aetna.
Got it. So from that standpoint, lot of stuff issuing quickly. Then
That's correct. Yep.
that's amazing. I mean, that's another thing about the senior market that I like is that this is forever. You know that it's done in the home. Now everything's e-appable now, but everything is instant approval. You know, what do you do when you have to pivot? Do you find yourself having to pivot at all, a lot, or at all?
Yeah, sometimes basically if a client will get denied from one carrier, I kind of have to pivot over to the other carrier. But all in all, the rates aren't too dissimilar. I mean, it's a difference of a couple of dollars here or there. And when I show them the price, it's when they see it's not too much of a difference, they're not too upset about that.
Nice. And I know that your persistency is very high. So what are you doing to keep the policies on the books?
Honestly, it's about retention, making sure that you explain to these families, you make it make sense that this is something that they need to keep for the rest of their life. This is not something that they are going to just pay for a couple months and be done with. I mean, you need to build the value, establish the value in what we're selling because that's the only way that these families will actually pay this bill until they die or pay this policy until they die.
Okay, yeah. And I mean, at the end of the day, these beneficiaries, the people that they're trying to protect, you're making that's at the forefront and making sure that they are, whoever it is they're trying to protect is at the forefront and part of the value prop of the sale, correct?
100%. 100%.
When you think about your process and you think about 70 families in a month, and you think about we're not slowing down anytime soon. So that's a lot of torque, Dhruv. That's a lot of beating the rims in the streets. But the reality is also it's a lot of bread. You know what I'm saying? How's
You're
that
not
feel,
wrong.
bro? How does that feel?
It's definitely different. Definitely not something that I used to be accustomed to. Honestly, I'm gonna say I can attribute that to that click in my mindset. As soon as I flipped that switch, as soon as I put in the work, basically, and I realized what this could be, and I went in full force, and it's been good. I'm not gonna lie. It's been comfortable having to wake up or having to the comfortability to wake up every morning and realize that rent for this month and next month is paid. I mean, you don't have to worry about any of those bills. It's a beautiful feeling.
That's different for you, right?
Yeah, yeah. From me a couple of years ago, before I found the insurance market, I was actually working in food and I was living paycheck to paycheck. So
That's amazing.
definitely a different lifestyle here.
Sounds like you're looking to seize the opportunity. If you could give a word of advice to a new agent that wants to grab a hold, stranglehold the opportunity the way you're doing it, what would you say to them?
Commitment. When you commit to numbers, make sure you hit them. No ifs, ands, buts, no excuses. You got to set a goal in your mind. We used to have goals and commitments. So there was a number that we absolutely would hit with our commitment no matter what. And then we would have a goal that we would try to attain every week. So set yourself up for a success, put a positive mindset, wake up every morning with a positive mindset, and dream big because the only way to hit the numbers that you want to see is to dream for even bigger numbers.
I love it, man. I do love it. I love the fact that you're taking advantage of an opportunity and it's changing your life. To me, that is so key, so important. And then I'll say this to you as a parting shot. It's like, don't slow down. Like, it's so easy to be doing as well as you're doing and go, well, life's just good, you know? Um, it doesn't sound like you have that in you, the slow down effect, but I see it happen all the time, you know? So I'm so excited for you and what you're doing and where you're headed. Congratulations on a huge month and the success that you're having this year.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate you, Dhruv, for jumping on with me. Training Day Podcast. Thanks a lot, brother.
Thank you. Have a good one.
God bless y'all. Take care. Thanks, Dhruv.